This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Well, the name of this show is Mick Shots, but I have a feeling it might as well be called Slap Shots right off the top here, as Spagnola over what happened late last night in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, as the Dallas Stars are headed to the Stanley Cup final for the first time in 20 years. Mickey, we will talk Cowboys over the course of the next 45 minutes, but right off the top, give us a slap shot, Mick Shot.
Gurionov with a big slap shot to win in overtime. And, boy, I'll tell you what, there's a team right there that can get beat for 2.5 periods, and then somehow, some way, they figure out a way to win. And that's all they do. They just figure out a way to win, no matter how badly they might be getting beat on the scoreboard or getting beat on the ice. They figure out a way to win, and it's really amazing with a backup goalie who better be the starting goalie for all the games in the final and next year, too, by the way.
And that is Anton Khudobin. And by the way, the Stars' offices are right there. Where their practice rink is in Frisco, just down the road from the Star in Frisco. So, Everson, I'm thinking Mickey is saying that there's another team that makes its home in Frisco that could learn some lessons from this hockey team.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Let's be clear. I am the stereotypical black dude, okay? I do not watch hockey. I do not know any of their names, but what the Dallas Stars have done, you talk about being down for 2/3 of the game. I think they were down for 2/3 of the season. And whenever you hear me talk about when my emotion might get the better of me, and we talk about what's logical for what a team can do, I never think logic comes into play. I think heart and mentality comes into play. And when you think about the Stars, these guys could have laid their skates up a long, long time ago, and they chose not to. So to me, that just lends credence to all the crap I've been saying about how the Cowboys can turn it around and how they could be optimistic versus pessimistic. Look at the Stars season, and that will be typical of what I'm talking about every week with the Dallas Cowboys.
And by the way, Mickey, as we look at the sports landscape and Everson, as we come out of this pandemic and throughout the off season on our weekly version of these mix shots, we were, at least one of us, if not two of us, if not three of us, were optimistic that, yeah, we are going to come out of this pandemic sometime. But look at the next month now here in Dallas-Fort Worth. All right, we've got the Cowboys season started. We've got the Stanley Cup final. Yeah, it's being played in Edmonton, but our team is playing in it over the course of the next 2 weeks. And now if you look at the month of October in Arlington, Major League Baseball just announced officially that the playoffs, a good portion of the playoffs, including the World Series, will be played at Globe Life Field in Arlington, right across the street.
That is crazy. That is some crazy stuff.
Okay, so get a load of this. In October, the Cowboys have 3 home games in the month of October, okay? Basically a football version of a 3-game homestand. On October 4th, they play Cleveland, and then they play the Giants on October 11th, and then a Monday night game against Arizona. Get a load of this. Okay, so the Cowboys will play the Browns on Sunday, October 4th. A National League Division Series begins on Tuesday, October 6th, runs through Saturday, October 10th in Arlington. The Cowboys on Sunday, October 11th, host Jason Garrett and the New York Giants. And then the following Tuesday, or maybe the following day, the National League Championship Series starts in Arlington, runs through Sunday, October 18th, and the Cowboys play Arizona, Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals on Monday night, October 19th, and the World Series starts the next day. How's that for coming out of a pandemic?
Do the Stars start the next season already in October?
What's that?
I said, do the Stars start the next season already in October?
Yeah, basically. And by the way, college football is starting too. And we got Texas OU in the mix there too.
Yeah, you better put a
October
big
10th.
question mark on college football at this point.
What's the protocol in regards to attendance for the World Series?
Well, the baseball commissioner is hopeful that they will be able to have some fans in the stands for both the National League Championship Series and the World Series. Much like Jerry on the radio this morning, he is not saying how many fans he expects to have in the stands. But I think that is one of the key reasons, probably, outside of the fact that it's an indoor venue, is why they picked Arlington as the site of the National League Championship Series and the World Series.
Not to mention that there's a hotel attached to the stadium.
Exactly, and so you can keep that bubble. Even with fans in the stands, as we have found out, as we will find out at AT&T Stadium on Sunday, I mean, there are no media members, no fans, no nothing that will even get close to down on the field. And so they create their own bubble right there. They're doing that with baseball as well. And so the fans will be isolated away from where the players and coaches are.
Bubbles
Yeah,
work.
I don't know if anyone saw the Lions game, but they showed a replay of when the Lions, Detroit had come back, and I thought that I saw a big group of people really close together in Detroit. I don't know if you guys saw that, but they showed the replay, and it's almost as if they had the lights dimmed a little bit. But I saw a lot of fans really not social distancing at all in Detroit. And I'm wondering, is that just an organic thing? As the game goes on, people just start getting close to each other. I don't know how that came about, but that was a little bit unnerving. It seemed as if they just ignored all protocol.
You sure that wasn't? Those weren't virtual fans?
No, they were not. They were.
They was real people. Is that what
moving.
you're telling me?
They were moving. I think. Now I know Detroit fans can be a little stiff, but I don't think I made a mistake.
All right, Mickey, as we kick things off, did you have a chance to listen to Jerry this morning? Anything you take out of Jerry on the fan this morning?
No, not really. I didn't think he said anything that was outlandish. He talked about the play call on 4th and 3 and said it was one of those 50-50 decisions that if you get it, if it works, you got it right. If it didn't, you got it wrong. And he compared it to decisions he's made, non-football decisions, I should say. And said that, sometimes when they work, you go on, and when they don't work, you go on even harder. So he didn't have a problem with that. You mentioned the fans. He talked about that. And then the other thing, maybe the thing that stood out, he was asked if what will they do from outside the organization to replace the injured players, the linebacker, tight end, maybe an offensive lineman. And he basically said, for now, we're looking, in-house. I saw right away people were tweeting or suggesting that they need to go sign Delaney Walker, 36 years old, and I think he's played 8 games over the last 2 years because of injuries. I don't think you need any of that. And so for now, it looks like status quo and use guys in-house or off your practice squad. So we'll see how that works out at linebacker, along with at the tight end position, where they still have 3 guys on the 53-man roster.
I think the other thing that you have to look at on that, there were 2 really bad injuries for the Cowboys as far as the makeup of this team, but we're so young, so early in the season that we really don't know what the next few weeks are going to hold and what the needs are going to be. If heaven forbid, there could be some other injuries that create some other needs as far as going out and getting a veteran player. I think you have to let it play out a little bit and see what you have, and you give opportunities to guys and see if they can step up. There's a reason that They have some depth. There's a reason they had 4 tight ends on this roster to start things off. You are hopefully getting Sean Lee back here after 2 more weeks out. We'll see how that goes. But and every team goes through this, and I think you just have to play it out and have some patience, unless there's an opportunity out there, maybe a relationship that a coach has with a player who's out there on the street. But there's just not a lot out there on the street either. There's guys like Delaney Walker, who's 36 years old right now.
Yeah, and I think for these 2 games, I think there's 2 more games, and you're just going to have to grit your teeth on the offensive line until you get Sean Lee back. I'm sorry, at linebacker, you grit your teeth, and then on the offensive line until you get Lael Collins back. You just got to hang tight and hope that works out, because you can't just keep going. Okay, let's go. Look, do the math. There's 16 teams. 32 teams with that many players on the roster, 53. Do the math. That's probably 1,700 players. 16 guys on each of those teams' practice squads. You're talking about 1,800 players, and now you're going to go get the 1,801st player and tell me he's going to help you out? I think you have to be very careful with that.
Usually there are times when there's a unusual situation with an organization and the player. Could be maybe one of the last cuts during the off season that where you may be able to find a good player, not necessarily someone that might come in and start for you, but that's someone that you could have as far as a backup is concerned. They have the trade deadline, or they have some type of deadline coming up around the same time we got Amari Cooper. Is there an opportunity, Spags, for us to look for someone to be around in those key positions, whether at linebacker or at tight end, someone from a last cut of any team? You don't think there's anyone out there that would be available that could help us out a little bit?
Well, I think
I do like Schultz. I promise you I do. I think he came in and he wasn't really ready to be targeted the way he was when Dak and the guys really needed him. I think he'll be just fine. I don't think he's as athletic as Jarwin, but I do think he's an extremely capable tight end, built almost the same, almost as athletic, and might be a little bit stronger in the blocking situation. So I'm not going to judge him by the one drop he had in the game. I look forward to him contributing. But when it comes to linebacker and when it comes to that offensive tackle, I think we should go out and at least try and get someone to replace anyone that we might have in there.
I think you have to find a unique situation to pull off an Amari Cooper trade like that. Because you had a guy going into his final year. You had a team that was restructuring. I don't think the head coach liked Amari Cooper. I don't think he liked his nature. And you have to find a contract that you can deal with. So that was a very unique situation. I don't know how many of those would be out there. Now, as the offensive tackle thing goes, you guys, when the cuts started happening, I started going through team-by-team cuts. No one was cutting offensive tackles, of note. If they cut an offensive tackle, it was a guy that might not even have made the practice squad. So for some reason, those offensive linemen, they're in great need. And even if he's your 4th offensive tackle, usually teams are hanging on to those guys. They're looking at him as a developmental guy because the 3rd guy is probably their swing tackle. And if they're fortunate to have a 4th, then they're going to hang on to, or you're going to pay a pretty penny. So you got to count on Lael Collins getting back. And I think that's going to be the key thing.
Hey, Mickey, there's a great example of what you're talking about in Pittsburgh right now. I saw a big headline on Twitter today about, the Steelers, they've lost their right tackle, Zach Banner. What are they going to do about it? Okay. Well, anyone who follows the draft knows, Zach Banner is built like a house. I mean, he's big, but he hasn't done anything in this league to speak of. And yet he was the starting right tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers, tears his ACL last night, and the Steelers don't know what they're going to do at tackle now. He was a 4th-round draft pick out of USC. He was a street free agent, picked up a couple of years ago by the Steelers, started 1 game last year, and now he gets hurt in the first game that he starts this year, and people don't know what the Steelers are going to do at tackle. Every team in the league is having this issue. The other great case is Terrence Steele. I mean, here's a guy out of Texas Tech who wasn't drafted, started, was like a 4-year starter at Texas Tech, and he comes in and he's a starter at right tackle in his very first game in the National Football League, and everyone thought that Cameron Irving would have been that guy. But, I mean, I think we all could tell in training camp Irving got off to a late start, and it looked like physically that Steele was better equipped to be able to play a game to start off with. Of course, Irving gets hurt on special teams. But and how about this? Here's another note on Terrence Steele. Do you know how many rookie offensive tackles have started their first game in the National Football League for the Dallas Cowboys?
Tyron Smith?
2.
Tyron Smith is the last one to do it. And, of course, as a rookie out of USC, first top 10 pick in the draft, he started at right tackle his first year and then moved over to left tackle after that. Prior to that, Rob Petitti, remember Rob Petitti?
Yeah, out of necessity. Out of necessity.
He was exactly. Well, Terrence Steele was out of necessity.
Right, exactly.
Okay?
So it just
Rob
doesn't
Petitti,
happen.
Not only... Right, and so Rob Petitti in 2005 was a 6th-round pick out of Pitt, and he starts, and he played every snap of that 2005 season, and the Cowboys got rid of him as quick as they could afterwards. I mean, good credit to Rob Petitti. He did his best and played every snap of that season, but then Mark Colombo came in for him after that, and Petitti was with the Saints and only started one other game in his entire NFL career.
Do you remember?
So we got Terrence Steele, we got Tyron Smith, we got Rob Petitti, and prior to that, you have to go back to 1988, and Dave Wydell, as a rookie, started at left tackle for the Cowboys. And then prior to that, you go back to 1965 and Ralph Neely, who was a really good player. So there's been 5 Cowboys in history that have started their first game as a rookie at tackle.
And if I remember right, If I remember right, in '88, there was a tackle rotation going on between Wydell and Gogan. And it was like Tom was tipping his hand, pass and run, depending on which guy he played. And then, if I remember correctly, Gogan ended up getting suspended for a couple games. Imagine that with Gogan. He tested positive for marijuana and got suspended a couple games. And do you remember what Parcells' nickname was for Petitti? He used to call him all the time, "This Petitti." He would just say, "This Petitti." I don't even know if he knew the guy's right full name. He would always. And so we made a joke of it every time we talked about Petitti. They go, "Oh, you mean this Petitti, right?"
You know what? I'll have to look it up in the break. But I think Parcells knew Petitti's dad.
Yeah, he had some connection.
I think his dad was from New York or New Jersey.
Yes.
And Parcells knew him. And I'll have to look it up and see. But anyway, all right. So how about that? For Terrence Steele, though, as far as my research goes, it's unofficial, but it's the 5th time that a Cowboys rookie has started at offensive tackle in his first game in the National Football League.
And you know what? And there's a good reason why they don't start their first game in the National Football League.
Right. And that was without an off season.
Right. I know. But it's got to get better there. They had problems there. They may need to put whatever tight ends playing right next to him.
All right, and it sounded like McCarthy is thinking about that himself at his press conference yesterday. All right, more Mick shots in just a moment.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, Cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at home pickup and delivery today.
Make the most of summer with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event. With great offers on a huge selection of Ford SUVs and the largest selection of truck inventory to choose from. Get huge offers across the Ford lineup. So grab the family and head out. Ford's helping you make the most out of summer. It's easier now during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Based on 2019 calendar year total sales. Based on Autodata compact and full-size stock inventory as of June 2020.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
Well, I was reading the first read on here. Now I can't find it. Mickey, do you have the... No, I found it. I found it. Okay. Let Dallas Cowboys Rhythm and Blue entertain you with some of the best hip-hop talent in the area, whether it's the high-energy co-ed dance team or the dynamic drum line. Either can be booked to provide a unique and unforgettable experience for your virtual or in-person event. Visit DallasCowboys.com/DCRB for more information or to book today. I've got so many things open on my computer. I was flipping through them going, okay, where is it? And I finally found it a little too late. There you go. All right, Mickey, you'll do much better on your read later in the show. Yeah, hopefully. We did have Everson do one of these reads.
Yeah, we're going to start sending them to him.
Very good. I think I can beat Spags. I don't know about you, Bill, but I think I can do better than Spags.
Don't you remember we had him doing the Tommy John ones?
Yeah, that's right. Okay,
or
Rob Petiti.
Jack Black, one of the two.
One of our trivia answers, Rob Petiti. Not to say his career was trivial, because he did start 6 games his rookie year. He was from Rumson, New Jersey, and grew up a Giants fan.
There you go.
So that's one of his links to Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells liked that about him.
He liked the Jersey guys.
That's exactly right. One other thing that you mentioned off the top, Mickey, about to put a wrap on the 4th down decision. McCarthy alluded to it yesterday. He was asked about it by Todd Archer, I think. And even if you go back and listen to his post-game on Sunday night, I think he told Kellen Moore on 3rd down, you got 2 plays to get a first down, and which is why they ran Zeke for 3 yards. I can't remember. It was a Zeke run, wasn't it?
Yes.
To get down to the 11.
Yes.
And so I think that's where his mindset, the decision was made, we're going for a touchdown here. Just reading through the lines, I think that's probably what happened on that. What do you think?
And that's the way head coaches should do with the offensive coordinator. When you're in a situation like that or a short yardage situation, you just tell them, hey, you got 2 plays to pick this up. Figure it out. Give me your 2 plays that you think will work in this situation, but know that you're going for it on 4th down. And I would imagine he knew that. And so, boy, I hate to go down this rabbit hole. He alluded after the game, somebody asked him about the percentages or something, and he if I remember correctly, he worded it like this. Analytics would tell you to go for it on 4th down. he didn't really say, I was told by the analytic dude to go for it on fourth down because that's the percentage. And now everybody's jumped on this analytics thing. Well, imagine that. The nerds that figure out these percentages, they were wrong because it didn't work. And now they're still going to tell you, but you should have done it because that was the way to win the game. If you hadn't done it, you weren't going to win the game. Are you serious? Does the analytic guy know that it's a pouring down rain on 4th and 3? Does he know that there's not a foot of snow on the ground? At some point, you just got to use common sense and make a decision. Everything can't come down to a mathematical equation. And that's my stance.
When it came down to it, during the ball game, the commentators wanted to give credit to Dak for reading the defense, if you recall.
On the third down play?
They made it as if Dak chose, on the third down play, they made it as if Dak chose to give it to Zeke because he saw a particular alignment, he saw some gaps in there, and that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was like a 3rd and 6.
It was.
And so that was an unusual play for a 3rd and 6 trying to get the first down. So I don't think the commentators knew what they were talking about because based on what you said, really, I mean, based on what you said, they were going to go 2 plays regardless. So that play to Zeke was already pre-called, and it was all part of the plan. I don't mind him going for that play. We always try, especially here in Cowboy Nation, we always try and find a blame. Like, how can we blame it? You know, what particular moment was where we lost the game? Well, there was plenty of time left in the game when that whole situation came about. I truly wish he would have kicked the field goal because I still thought that offensively we had the momentum. We wouldn't be playing from behind anymore. I thought we had the momentum, especially on that drive with the momentum that we had. That matched the momentum we had in the first half, especially coming at the end of the first half. In the second half, I don't know what the hell happened to us. Aaron Donald just seemed to get pissed off. He's like, I can't believe we're letting these guys stay in this game after as well as our offense is playing. Once they released the Hounds on that front line, and once those backups that we had on our offensive line start to feel the pressure, that's, to me, when the game started to change. And we didn't look good again until the last drive, or the second to the last drive of the game.
Yeah, and if you look at...
I'm sitting there.
Go ahead, Bill.
You go ahead, Mickey. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, and I was finally glad to hear Mike McCarthy emphasize this in his press conference yesterday, that one of the problems that they have to fix was offensively and defensively third down, because the Rams doubled the Cowboys' offensive third down conversions. They converted 53% of their third downs. The Cowboys only converted 25%. And I started looking at the third downs that they didn't convert, meaning the offense, and invariably, almost every one that wasn't converted, there was pressure on Dak Prescott. And that's something that they've got to figure out. You cannot have that pressure. 2 of the 3 sacks were on third down. There was a pressure on a couple other ones. Like, you know, the first one, he's short to Tony Pollard, right, out of the backfield. Well, he couldn't step up because Brockers was coming. The other defensive end was coming, and he got kind of sandwiched, and he couldn't step up, and he's short. There was another one he threw over the middle, tried to hit Cooper, and it was short. Dak is not that inaccurate. The reason was they got pressure on the Cowboys quarterback. And if they're going to fix third down, they got to do one of 2 things. They got to be third and shorter, because there was a sack the first time they didn't convert, and it made it 3rd and 16 or something like that. Well, that's a tough one to convert. And then the one that they should have converted, right, at the end of the game, they get called for offensive pass interference when they should have had a 47-yard, 50-yard completion. So the third down thing is what was troubling to me, And one of the reasons the defense had problems on third down is they had too many third and shorts. Everything was third and short, it seemed like. Goff never had to throw the ball down the field, hardly at all. All he was doing is throwing these little dump-offs to the running back or swinging a wide receiver out of the formation and just dumping a screen off to him or the tight end. They ate the Cowboys up that way. Now, Mike Nolan said last night that they were aware of that's what was going to happen. They just didn't react to it well. So we'll see what goes forward because, as you know, it's a copycat league.
Well, one thing that I saw during the game was the same thing that we saw last year, and that's what's so disconcerting about it. Let's look at this. This is just one game, okay? As analysts, I guess. Well, are we analysts? Are we pundits? What
Absolutely, we're
whatever
analysts.
we are. Whatever we are. Our job is to react, and my reaction is the fact it's not okay. It's just one game. I get it. This is the first game of the season. Everyone just relax. The problem is it is eerily similar to all the things that we saw last year. All the ineptitude, it's also not just there, it's in the same area. Third downs were a problem for us last year, offensively and defensively, whenever we lost ball games. So that's what the issue is with us. We thought that a new coaching staff would bring on a little bit of improvement, and it did not. You have the same players making the same mistakes, and that's what bothers me. You can't have a good defense when your defensive line starts to play with your defensive lineman's butt in your linebacker's stomach. You understand? They're getting driven back every play on a running play at will. Not just one player. We're talking about the entire defensive line. So that issue was there last year. Same issue this year. And I thought that Mike Nolan would come in with a better strategy in regards to releasing those linebackers. I talked all offseason about how I thought he would be more aggressive using linebackers to blitz them, not just to blitz the pass, but you got strategic run blitzes as well that could put your linebackers in a more aggressive position. These are the kind of things that bothered me in the game because the deja vu was just killing me. It's the same thing we saw last year. And even though it's just the first game, I'm not going to be sitting around being optimistic about, oh, they're going to get it soon. And then, like I said yesterday, we're going to be sitting around eating Thanksgiving turkey, and we still have the same problems.
All right, let's talk about the linebackers when we come back. But Everson, I was curious. You talked about the commentators on the game on Sunday night. Did you enjoy going up against Chris Collinsworth in your career? You probably didn't go up against him very often. I had a flashback to a miserable Sunday in Cincinnati, though, right?
Yeah, and Chris was not our problem when we played in Cincinnati.
That's right. It was 1985.
We had a whole lot of other problems to deal with. I believe we got blown out like 52 to something, if I'm not mistaken.
I looked it up. It was 50-24, and it was 22-0 in the first quarter. It was at one point it was 50-10. But you're right. Collinsworth did have a touchdown, but it was at the end.
Yeah, it wasn't on me.
No, the guy they couldn't.
I know it wasn't on you.
The guy they couldn't stop was the big old running back named Kinnebrew.
Larry Kinnebrew.
He ran right over him.
I tell you what I remember. Here's what I remember. I remember Munoz being in my face 15 yards down the field. That's what I remember. So I had a future Hall of Famer. I'm going up against a future Hall of Famer that's got me by 100 pounds, okay? So that was not fair at all, and we saw that all game long. But let's remember, guys, we came off of 2 ass whoopings and we still won the NFC East.
There
So
you
I
go.
will always take that to my grave. Thank you very much, Cowboy fans.
By the way, Kennebrew had 71 yards on 13 carries and a touchdown in that game, and James Brooks had 109 yards on 13 carries and 2 touchdowns.
That's the one I remember because I couldn't even see him behind Munoz.
There you go. There you go. All right, a trip down memory lane here on Mick Shots, and we continue. Let's
Thanks a lot,
explore
Bill.
what the Cowboys are doing at linebacker when we come back.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys, and your favorite football team.
Get yours today at shop.dallascowboys.com or at stetson.com.
What do you call a group of grown men and women who get together every week, proudly wearing the star, to share a 3-hour-long ritual of cheering, shouting at the TV, and raising their Miller Lite together while yelling, "How about them boys?" You call it Miller Time and Cowboys Nation. Here's to the only beer of the Cowboys celebrating 60 years of greatness. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2020 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Mick Shots.
Celebrating styles and design worn by players and coaches over the last 60 years, the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop introduces New Era 1960 Headwear Collection. Find the full assortment at your nearest Cowboys Pro Shop or on shop.dallascowboys.com. And here's my favorite one. It's the 1960 headgear from the collection.
You look gangster, Spags. You look real gangster,
Good.
brother.
I just want to set a tone. People shouldn't be messing with me.
How come you're not going to keep wearing it? You can keep wearing it if you want, Mickey.
It's kind of hard.
That baby.
Kind of hard to talk with that hat on.
All right.
I'm trying to prop it up.
It's hard to talk with the hat on.
That's
okay,
right.
I got you.
You never know when I got to let off
Monday
some
night
steam.
games. Had a couple of Monday night games last night. I know Mickey wasn't paying attention because he was watching hockey, although I guess you could have watched the first part of the Giants game against
I had
the
two
Steelers. And the
TVs
last part
working, don't you worry.
of the other one.
I was watching
Okay,
Drew
there
Lock.
you go. So how do you feel about the NFC East with the Washington football team all alone in first place through week one?
That's the way we predicted it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Redskins would be leading the division after the first week. You kind of knew that was coming. And no one was scoring any points, were they?
That would be the football team, Mickey.
Yep, not the Redskins
Oh,
anymore.
sorry. I knew that I'd make
Come
that
on.
mistake.
We're
Aren't
gonna
the
need a
Chargers
ruler,
still in
and we're
San
gonna
Diego?
We're gonna rack your knuckles every time you make a mistake, Spag.
All right.
All
All right.
you go.
You're going to run out of knuckles.
I must admit, guys, I kind of enjoyed the NFC East matchup. Everyone's always trying to compare the Eagles to the Cowboys, and to see them give that game up the way they did, and especially in the first half after they were just lauding all kind of praise on the Eagles as a team. It felt good for me to see them lose in the manner that they did, but it also made me think of this. The NFC East is going to beat up on each other all year long. You can just see it happening. We'll probably have the same situation as last year. I don't see two teams coming out of the NFC East this year in the playoffs.
I saw a bunch of teams in the NFC East that were having troubles on their offensive line, though.
And that, to me, that doesn't bode well, because all of us are good running teams. All of us believe in our running game. When you see the Giants can't get Barkley going, and this is their bread and butter on that team, it was a tough game to watch in New York. God, that was just horrible the way Pittsburgh just dismantled them. And we don't really have anyone representing the NFC East with confidence right now. Cowboys look good for a minute, but overall, I just see the same outcome as last year. We're going to be beating up on each other, and teams are going to be coming into the NFC East and treating us like stepchildren. And I remember when the NFC East was the pride of the NFL. That is just not the case anymore.
You know, the Giants are starting Cam Fleming, and the Cowboys didn't even want to keep him to be the swing tackle, and he's their starting right tackle.
Right, and the reason is because Nate Solder, who they gave a lot of money to last year, and he didn't play up to that money, well, he opted out due to COVID concerns, and so Fleming was signed to be their swing tackle, and now he's starting at right tackle as they move their first-round draft pick over to the left side. But I mean, you talk about offensive line issues, and in Philadelphia they got some big-time offensive line issues with not one, not two, but three injuries, and two of them are major. Andre Dillard, their left tackle, is out for the year. Brandon Brooks, their right guard, starts the season. And Lane Johnson was not there this week. And so, and, you know, we think we got some issues here. There's some other issues in the offensive line. It goes right back to what we talked about at the outset of the show. Everybody's going through this on the offensive line.
You know, guys, I have a beef about Philadelphia, and I was holding on to it yesterday. I hope you guys will allow me to bring this up. Did y'all know what Josh McCown is doing right now? Does anyone know what Josh McCown is doing right now?
He's sitting at home as
What is Josh McCown doing right now?
He's sitting at home as the third quarterback.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. When did this happen? See, in society, we talk about white privilege. That's a whole nother thing. This is quarterback privilege. This is quarterback privilege in the NFL. My son told me these stats. I was upset. He's making $12,000. Is it a week, right?
Yeah, a week.
$12,000 a week. He doesn't even have to report to Philadelphia. I was gonna make a joke one day about, hey, I could kind of work for the Cowboys. You know, they're signing people like Alden Smith and things of that nature. I could be a defensive back working from home.
Okay, let me try.
And I wouldn't even have to be doing this show. I wouldn't even have to be doing this show right now.
Let me try.
I could be at home talking to my coaches on my computer. He doesn't even have to come into the practice field. He doesn't even have to leave the state. He doesn't even have to leave the state. And he is a Philadelphia Eagle getting paid $12,000 a week. I'm sorry, guys. That's my beef today. I have a beef this afternoon. That is just ridiculous.
And you know what? Speaking of beef, the sandwich.
Break it down, Spags. Break it down for me.
The sandwich they served today at the Star was Italian beef, by the way. Okay, let me see if I can talk you off the ledge. Bruce Arians, like 3 months ago when this COVID-19 thing struck, he said, you know what? I can't have all my quarterbacks in the quarterback room at the same time because I can't afford, if I only have 3 of them, I can't afford one to affect the other 2, and then I've got no quarterbacks. He said, I'm going to think about telling my backup quarterback or the third quarterback, you don't come to any of the meetings and you don't do any practices. You stay healthy because I got to know that I've got a healthy quarterback in case the other 2 get affected. And if I'm correct, when the Cowboys started their quarterback room meetings, they didn't do it all together. They did it virtually because they didn't want the 3 quarterbacks or 4 quarterbacks to be together. So my thought is Philadelphia said, okay, to combat potential COVID-19 infections, you just stay away from the place and you come to all the meetings virtually and work out. And I got to know that I've got a healthy quarterback that won't get infected. So that's what the thinking was behind that.
Still on the ledge. Because if nothing else, make the dude go to Pennsylvania.
Let him sit in a hotel room.
Make him go close to the. He can't just be in Texas, having fun with his kids, helping his daughter do homework. Come on, you can't do that. Okay, let's do this. If I had a coach that was cornerback friendly, I would not have all of my cornerbacks in one room because you can't win a championship without a strong cornerback. So what about that? What about all the cornerbacks?
But you have 5 or 6. You have 5 or 6 cornerbacks on the team. You only have 2 or 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, but those guys may be garbage on the team.
But you're not going to play as soon as one of them gets hurt. He comes from Texas and he's back with the team.
Hey, Everson, Jerry hasn't told you this yet, but you know the reason why you're doing this show?
Why am I doing this show?
Because you're in reserve in case we lose some cornerbacks.
You're the 6th quarterback.
At least I can make it to the practice field without catching a flight. How about that?
That's exactly right.
He's going to make you work for that annuity payment.
I am still on the ledge, guys. I'm sorry. I'm still on the ledge.
Well, that's the reasoning behind it.
Oh, man.
Well, I think we ran out of time here on Mick Shots. That was a good way to end this show. I like the Everson shot at the end. We'll have to make that a regular feature.
I'll make sure I put that in the promo.
I got a bunch of them.
An Everson shot.
I got a bunch of them.
Okay, we'll be back with more Mick Shots tomorrow here on DallasCowboys.com.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!